If you're tired of this happening to you in Warzone, and you want to be getting this win screen more than once per night, easy wins, then these are the top 5 tips to be getting you more wins in Warzone and increasing your KD. Morning chat! The new Warzone is finally here, and like you, I have been grinding it as much as I can. But I noticed I wasn't winning as many games as I used to previously. So therefore I've tested everything to get the best setup, find the best kept secrets on the new map, and these are my top 5 tips to get you more wins. But before we get into it, drop a subscribe. It's completely free and it helps me release more of these guide videos every single week. Now onto tip number 1, and that is getting the perfect movement for Warzone. As we know, Black Ops 6 introduced Omni movement, and now that has been introduced into Warzone. If you want to master movement and get ahead of everybody else, then these are the exact settings you need. Oh, and I'll teach you about a secret movement skill that is definitely going to be patched out the game soon. So let's get onto movement settings. And what you want to do is click the cog at the top right, scroll down and go onto controller. Then you want to tab across over onto the movement section. And now on the movement section, you'll have sprint assist. You want to change this to tactical sprint assist. This allows you, when you're running, to automatically kick in the auto tac sprint. Make sure you click the show more section. There is something called sprint assist delay, so you want to make sure you turn that straight down to 0. Again, this will make sure it doesn't feel like it's clunky. It will just be fluid. With some of these settings, it will just be copying, and then other ones I will go a bit more in depth. And next we have mantle assist. Mantle assist is a tricky one. Some people have it on, some people have it off. I've tried it quite a lot with both already on Area 99. I personally have turned it off now. And now onto slide dive behavior. Now I've talked about this one quite a bit when it comes to the short videos, and you want to make sure it is as hybrid. The reason behind this is so that you can slide and dive to maximize all your movement without any delay. When hybrid first came out, there was a massive delay with the slide cancelling, and therefore everyone was turning it off and going on to slide only. Now with Omni movement, you'll be at a real disadvantage by not using hybrid. You're going to have to start mastering to use slide and dive again. And again, you just want to copy all of these settings that I have here. One that I will touch on is slide maintains sprint. So why is this one so important? So if you was to slide, if you didn't have this on, you wouldn't continue sprinting from the sprint that you had previously going into the slide. Having this on allows you to continue that sprint, so therefore you're increasing your movement speed and the fluidity. Right, and now we're going to go over onto the combat section, and a couple of things in here. So armor plate behavior, you want to make sure that is on apply all. This again just doesn't stop you in the process. And then the main one, which is absolutely crucial in this update, you want to go on to combat advanced settings. Once you're on combat advanced settings, there is a section called sprint cancels reload. Yes, and this is the reason why your movement feels sluggish, because once again, Call of Duty being Call of Duty set it as default. So you want to make sure you turn that off ASAP. And next up, we have a movement tip called snaking. But what is snaking? So snaking basically is when you're behind an object, you are bobbing your head up and down. Now that's either to gather information of the enemy's whereabouts or to make it harder for the enemy to hit you. In this gameplay here, as you can see, I'm doing both. But how do you do snaking? So what you want to be doing is crouching up and down constantly. But with your left analog stick, you want to be doing it in like a circular motion. So this allows a nice fluid movement of going up and down. Therefore, look, it was harder for him to hit me coming off that roof. We've got a nice position here. See, if I was stuck behind there then, just doing like I just explained there, I would not have gathered any of that information of him coming off the roof. I wouldn't have known he's there right now. But look, we can see him. We know he's around there. We know he's starting to push. So then we get the extra early shots on, letting us get the win. And now onto a movement tip, which is definitely going to get patched soon, and that is the G slide. The G slide is an extended speed and distance slide compared to a normal slide. Okay, well, I'm going to show you here something called a G slide. So this is just a normal slide like this. So say if there was somebody in this window here, there you go. But say if we're doing a G slide, it basically extends the slide. So look how much further you go here. Braking camera is so much easier. And all you need to do is, as you're running, you want to jump, aim, and then slide. And there you have it. Don't worry, I've got you with another movement tip for this season. And they have now introduced unlimited tac sprint. And I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do this. Way number 1 is with the perk Sprinter. Sprinter allows you to have unlimited tac sprint wielding any weapon. But let's say you don't want to waste your perk using this. Well, then all you need to do is hold down your melee button to wield your knife. No matter what melee weapon you have, you will always be able to have unlimited tac sprint. And now a movement tip for the less sweaty players and for the more casual players like myself, and that is playing dead. Yes, you heard right, and you'll be surprised how many people this catches off guard. But to do this, all you need to do is dive onto your front, turn around onto your back, and then you want to go onto your side slightly, and then you just want to be holding any lethal grenade as long as it's not a frag grenade, and then you just wait. And now for tip 2, and this one's going to be an important one for a lot of you, and that is loadouts. Now let's first talk about perks. Now I'm just going to be talking about the main ones that you should be using here. And for perk 1, it's a no-brainer. You will be using dexterity. So with dexterity, you have reduced weapon motion, jumping, sliding, and diving, but the main reason is it's take less fall damage. Perk 2, on the other hand, there is several for you to choose from. And for me, once I have it unlocked, it will be quick fix. And the reason for that is every time that you kill an enemy, your health will automatically start regenerating, which is giving you a massive advantage on them 1v4s. And for perk 3, there is 2 that I would suggest that you choose from. The first one being Resolute. So for those that don't know Resolute, what it does is gives you a 15% movement speed boost when you are getting shot. So this is great for when you're trying to run away from an enemy, to regather information and to armor up. And then the other one that I would suggest is Alertness, also known as High Alert. This means if you're in an enemy's vision, it will alert you by glowing orange on the side of your screen in the direction that they are looking from. And finally, while we're in this section, we will talk quickly about wildcards. At the moment, I feel like it's 2 to choose from, which is Overkill or Battle Ready. So Overkill obviously means that you can equip a secondary weapon. Alternatively though, you can just buy it from the shop for 3,500 coins. So therefore my recommendation is Battle Ready. And the reason for this is it gives you a free UAV. And now we've got our perks sorted, let's talk about meta weapons. And right now it's a no-brainer what the meta long range weapon is, and that is the GPR. The GPR currently has the fastest TTK in Black Ops 6 Warzone. But if you use this build shown on the screen right now, and then you change this thermal optic to this reticle, it seems to be giving you free aimbot. And talking about meta long range guns, it's probably time to tell you sniping is back. Yes, one-shot headshot snipers are back. But enough of this talk about the long range metas. How about we talk about the short range? And for me, the gun that has the best movement to time to kill ratio is definitely the C9. Have the C9 equipped with a stim, you could be getting some really good movement clips. I've got my loadout for you here right now. And now leading on to tip number 3, and that is aiming. So let's go over the aiming settings. So you want to click the cog at the top right, go onto controller, and then scroll across onto the aiming section. So in this section, we have sensitivity multiplier. Now I've had to play around with a lot of these, and the only one that you really need to change is ADS sensitivity multiplier. You need to turn that down. Now I have it at 0.6 because I found that is my sweet spot, but this makes it so much easier to control your recoil, especially on a map like Area 99, which is a little bit bigger. And now you want to go on aiming advanced settings, and we're going to be talking about aim response curve type, and you're going to want to make sure you change this to dynamic. And now another setting that I've had a little play around with, if you go on the show more section, you'll have aim response curve slope scale. Now I did do a short video on this where I dropped it down to 0.9, and honestly it felt like it was absolutely beaming when I done that. I've tried it with the new update, doesn't seem to be the case, so I've kept it as 1 now. And now custom sensitivity per zoom. Now I've had this on and I've played around with a lot of different settings. I'll be honest, it's not worth it. You're better off just turning it off and following what I said earlier. Now this goes without saying, but make sure your target aim assist is on and your ADS aim assist is on. And now go on to the controller section. And when it comes to aim, you want to be checking your horizontal and vertical sensitivity. Now I used to be a 20/20 sensitivity player for 10 years of my life, but about 6 months ago I was really struggling to compete at that next level. So therefore I started to reduce my sensitivity, and now we play on an 8/8 sensitivity. And now if you scroll down, one thing, just make sure your controller vibrations off. You just don't want to be having any interruptions that could potentially make you lose a gunfight. Something I have changed recently is trigger effect, and I have put it as now as full haptics. Since I've changed this, it just feels like everything's a little bit snappier. And now going on to dead zones. Feel free to copy my dead zones, but it is controller specific. One thing I will say though is make sure your left stick max is down to at least 60. The reason behind this is that you don't need to push the controller as far forward to start auto tac sprint. Now by doing that, you think, well, we're talking about aiming. Yeah, but it gets your gun ready quicker, so therefore your aim assist takes over quicker. But let's say that you're not sure about your dead zones. There is actually a test dead zone section, so make sure you click that and then just have a play around and play a few games and see how it feels. That's exactly what I done, and now I found the sweet spot. And now we will be talking about optimizing aim assist. And first up, we will be talking about short range. Now, with the introduction of omni movement and with the reduction of aim assist, it is really important that you're doing this tactic to win more gunfights. And it's as simple as short range combat. You want to make sure that you're not always aiming down sight. You want to aim down sight and shoot them, but then let go to see if they're going to reposition. This allows you to keep up with their omni movement. And then you want to aim back in quickly and then let go quickly and aim back in quickly. By doing this, all the pros are doing it. And since I've got my head around it, I've been winning so many more close range battles. And now we've optimized aim assist for short range, we are now going to do it for the long range. And this one's very, very simple. All you need to be doing while you're aiming, instead of letting your right analog stick take control, you want to actually be using your left analog stick. By moving your left analog stick left and right slightly, you're actually increasing the aim assist response, kicking it back into gear where if you were about to go up. If you put all that together, you'll be beaming people just like this. And this leads us nicely onto tip number 4, and that is about the Area 99 map. And one of the best places to land currently is Warehouse. Warehouse has 3 buy stations located around it. It's big enough to get away from enemies just in case it gets a little bit crowded, but to be honest, most of the time, it's nice and passive. Oh, and did I mention that there are a lot of crates here and a lot of money so you can get your loadout super fast? Let me know in the comments if you think you found a better landing spot. Now we've covered where to land, let's say where not to land. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side of the map where pods is, there is no buy stations, and let's face it, you can't really get out there too well either. If you're parachuting from the top of pods, you're likely to get beamed from other areas, and if you're pushing up on the ground, again, you're still likely to get beamed. Therefore, I would say avoid pods at all costs, because even if you're inside of pods, protected from the outside, it's really hard to navigate through. And now on to the final tip, tip 5, and that's all about preparing for the final circle. And the first thing we're going to talk about is smokes or stims. When it comes to the final circle, both can be used very, very well. Smokes can be used to reposition, but so can stims, as it allows you to go into the gas and to regenerate your health. But which one's better for now? Smoke grenades don't seem to be as good, and the thermal optics this year seem to be very overpowered. So therefore, I would say go for stims. But Call of Duty have literally just said they will be nerfing stims very soon. But that is only the boost side of it, because it gives you an additional boost of speed. So therefore, my advice is use stims for now, but I can see smokes coming into play very shortly. Now, a big thing is don't be afraid of using a buy station. At the buy station, you can require 3 things that are really going to help us. One of them being a gas mask, one of them being a self-revive, and the other one being an ammunitions box. All 3 of these allowing us to survive longer, giving us the highest chance of getting a win. But don't just think about purchasing an ammo box, make sure you look around the map and see if there's an ammo box close. Just like I done here, make sure you use these, as they will regain your stims or smokes depending on what you have equipped. And finally, this leads us on to high ground. High ground has been a known thing in Warzone for many years now, as it tends to give you the advantage. However, with the introduction of grapples and many more ladders, is the high ground still as effective? Well, personally, because the audio is so bad right now, maybe high ground is no longer the best. Why not be on the ground level where there's buy stations, where there's ammo crates? But I want you to tell me in the comments if you think I've got this one wrong. So there you have it. Those are my best tips to start getting you more wins in the Black Ops 6 Warzone. Trust me, I've started winning so many more games now, and it's so nice to finally get out the hellhole of skill-based matchmaking on BO6 multiplayer. If these tips did help you at all, don't forget to subscribe, then you won't miss the next video, and trust me, that one will help you even more.